do we got here? Active Treason, 2 and a black, 2 and a red. Gain control of a creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, gains haste until end of turn. Good one for like the real aggressive red decks that are just like hammering out pressure, you know? And on the last turn, you steal the opponent's best creature that they're like desperately hoping to block with and murder them. Also very good to pair with sacrifice effects. There's a couple in black that we went over earlier. Cavalier of Flame, 2 red, 6/5. So this is the largest body we've seen on a Cavalier so far. 1 in a red. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. Well, that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. Because it includes itself in the pump. When it enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards and draw that many cards. Like that. I like that. I almost like that better than the blue one, the draw 3 and put 2 back. When it dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. Man, this one might actually be the best one. I mean, it doesn't have flying. Like, the blue one's got flying. It has a really good limited ability. Really good constructed ability, too. But in terms of, like, raw power, this card seems sweet. Yeah, I think it might be the most powerful so far. I still like the Beast Within attached to the white one. The art is sick, too. The art has been sick on all of the Cavaliers. It's real nice. Doesn't have evasion of any kind, but that's quite a lot of text. It is. It is a lot. It's a lot of text. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, 1 red, 4 loyalty, 0. Put a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control, including itself, of course. 0. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So you can plink your opponent for 2 damage there. And then the -2 is you may cast target instant or sorcery card with more mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. Oh, do you have to pay the mana cost on that, right? Like a Jace Vryn's Prodigy down tick. That card we put in your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Yeah, 3 mana. 3 mana is not very much mana. The second ability works with elemental synergies. Oh, that's true. There are a few of them coming out in this format. Yeah, so the first turn you play it, you're probably just going to tick it up to 5. Obviously, it gets more exciting if you're playing other red planeswalkers to get value off of that. Mayhem Devil, with the 0. Just get like multiple pings a turn. Kremple says that they are going to be a best man on Saturday, and do I have any tips for the speech? They need help. Oh, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. I've never given a best man speech, but yeah, I recommend doing something to calm yourself down and just relax, get into the zone. An age-old trick that people talk about is imagining the audience naked. So that's really good. And then it's also good to share something like revealing about yourself, something a little self-detrimental humor to win over the crowd and get them on your side. I recommend talking about how you're imagining them naked. That should go over pretty well. Yeah, so Acolyte of Flame is actually probably not that great in Limited. I mean, I would play it, but I think if I'm drafting this, I'm mostly drafting it to rare draft it and sell later. It just doesn't seem like it's going to take over a game by itself. Obviously, it gets better if you've got a lot of removal in your deck to flashback and murder things. All right, Chandra, Awakened Inferno. 4 red, 6 loyalty. Legendary Planeswalker Chandra. The spell can't be countered. +2, each opponent gets an emblem with. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. Not too shabby. So your opponent can't counter the Chandra, and then immediately it goes up to 8 loyalty, and they get an emblem that will eventually kill them if the game goes long enough. And then the next turn, they just get another emblem, and then the next turn they get another one. Like, to kill someone from 20, that's actually not even that long, right? So you tick up to 8 loyalty, they get 1 emblem, they go to 19. The next turn, you go up to 10 loyalty, they get a second emblem, now they're taking 2 damage, going down to 17, and then 3 damage down to 14. If they ever deal with the Chandra, they still have those emblems in play. Just doming them every turn. It's a cute little card. The cool thing about this card is that it's also, like, not just absolutely terrible against creature decks. Because the -3 is a sweeper, and the -X is a single creature removal. Creature or planeswalker. Dome's planeswalkers too. And exiles them. A neat little card. Very powerful, but I mean 6 mana is a lot of mana, so it better be powerful, right? Yeah, hitting walkers is a big game, for sure. Alright, Chandra, Novus Pyromancer, 3 in a red, 5 loyalty, +1 elementals you control, get +2/+0 until end of turn. Well, that pairs pretty nicely with herself. -1, add 2 red. Yeah, that's kind of sweet. -2 is it deals 2 damage to any target. Also not too shabby. Is this Chandra better than the other 6 mana Chandra that makes elementals? Are you talking about the one that could be a sweeper, or the one that would like uptick to get 2/3/1s? The real nice thing about that one is that it would uptick to either like kill the opponent in a few turns, or it would uptick to like kill your opponent's planeswalker, right? Like if your opponent had a planeswalker you're having trouble with, playing that 6 mana Chandra was real nice. Whereas this one starts with 6 loyalty. If your opponent's planeswalker is at 6 loyalty, you have to like cash in your whole Chandra to answer it. And it obviously can't draw cards and stuff. So I think that other 6 mana Chandra was better, but this one's certainly really powerful too. Certainly going to see some play. Alright, Chandra Novus Pyromancer. Yeah, card seems great. In limited for sure. Probably not going to see in constructed play, but what do I know? Even if it was just like 4 mana, start with 5, didn't have the first 2 abilities, and just had the down tick, you'd probably be fine in limited, right? Chandra's Ember Cat, 2 mana for a 2/2, tap, add red, and spend this mana only to cast an elemental spell, or a Chandra Planeswalker spell. Well, that's kind of cute. It's an elemental itself, too, so it gets benefit from the Novus Pyromancer pump. It doesn't get cleared by the Chandra down tick. Neat. I wonder if mono red Chandras is going to be a deck. Just all the Chandras in the goddamn world. Hey, Red 7, thanks for the resub, thanks for the 16 months. Red 7 says, Caleb, when are we having our Sweet 16 party? We're having it right now. Welcome to the party. At this party, we talk about Chandra's Outrage. Chandra's Outrage, 2 red, instant. Deals 4 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller. Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. Fine reprint. Just play as many of these as possible, right? It's reach, it's removal, it's good, it's classic. Chandra's Regulator, 1 in a red legendary artifact. Whenever you activate the loyalty ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, you may pay 1. If you do copy that ability, you may choose new targets for the copy. Oh man, we can make multiple emblems per turn. 1 tap, discard a mountain card, or a red card, draw a card. Oh man, mono red Chandras is a thing. I want to build it with like nothing but M20 cards, and like beat someone in an actual tournament with mono red Chandras. That's the dream. That's the dream right there. Chandra's Spitfire, 2 in a red, 1/3, flying. When an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Interesting. So you lava dart your opponent, flashback, lava dart them again. Get 2 triggers, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage on the turn. Unbeatable. No, I don't think this card's good. I don't think it's great at all. But 3 mana for a 1/3 flyer is like not terrible stats, so you don't need to trigger it very often for it to be decent. Hey, Eva the Beaver, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 7 months. The emblem pumps Spitfire. But it pumps it on the opponent's turn, right? Each opponent gains an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. The opponent's getting the emblem, so it's going to trigger on their turn. And so it blocks better. Yeah, that's what I want to do with this card, right? Block real good. And it's also like a 6 mana mythic, so I don't know how much that matters. You're not trying to play this card in Constructed, are you? Maybe you are. I don't know. I guess it's an elemental for our elemental Chandra deck. I guess you have to play it. There's only so many elementals. All right, Dagger Sail Aeronaut. Oh, play it in limited or in multiplayer. So you're playing EDH. You play your Chandra Awakened Inferno as your general. You can do that, right? You can use Planeswalkers as your general. I don't know. I don't know shit about EDH. You uptick it. Everyone gets an emblem. Oh, but it only triggers on each of their upkeeps. It needs to be two-headed giant to get multiple triggers going off on the same turn. I'm thinking of like some fling combo where you like convert extra power from the emblem pumps on the opponent's turn into a win. I guess you just need like a lot of emblems to stack. All right, Dagger Sail Aeronaut, 3 in a red, 3/2. As long as it's your turn, it has flying. Oh, that's kind of cute. Not the worst goblin ever printed. Obviously not constructed playable, and probably not that high of a pick, but you pick this up like 4 through 6. It's fine. Destructive Digger, 2 in a red, 3/2. 3 mana, sacrifice an artifact or land, draw a card. I guess it's good when you're flooding. Certainly better than a vanilla creature, but not exciting to me. Dragon Mage, just 7 mana for a 5/5 flyer. When it deals damage to a player, each player discards their hand, draw 7 cards. Yeah, you're pretty much always going to play your 7 mana 5/5s, 7 mana 5/5 flyers in sealed. And you're probably going to do it less often in draft. Usually I want my curves to stop at like 5, maybe 6 in draft. But if your deck's a little slower, a little bit more rampy, it's probably fine. Now here's a reason to go to 7 in draft. This card's a little bit more exciting. 7 mana for a 7/7. Whenever it attacks, deals 4 damage to any other target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. So it attacks for 11 and kills 2 creatures. Not shabby. Not too shabby. Yeah, in sealed, you're going to warp your mana to play it. In draft, you're going to take it, even if it's like above your curve, and take it and play it. Hope you get to cast it. Sweet card, sweet. Can kill 3 targets. Yeah, but then you're only dealing them 7. That hardly seems worth. Ember Hauler, red, 2/2. Sack Ember Hauler, deals 2 damage to any target. Classic card is classic. Get another playable goblin into standard is nice too, with Ringleader coming back. Spoilers! Fire Elemental's fine filler. Flame Sweep, 3 mana, deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. And flying seems really important in this format. I think it's real fucking good. Fry. That's a nice little bit of fry art there, huh? I like that. 1 in a red, instant, can't be countered, deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker that's white or blue. Again, a nice sideboard card, both in standard and in limited. Glinthorn Buccaneer, 1 red, 2/4. Not the worst stats. With haste, whenever you discard a card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. 1 in a red, discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glinthorn Buccaneer is attacking. What? So you have to attack to do your weird loot. It's like probably gonna find you other haste creatures, but now you can't play them because you're attacking. I mean, I'm glad we have a Minotaur Pirate here, don't get me wrong. This is a weird set of abilities. Got this 2/4 that wants to attack every turn. Alright. Goblin Bird Grappler, 1 in a red, 2/1. Gains flying until end of turn. Activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. Interesting. Also another goblin. Interesting. I like this idea. I like this idea for a card. He's so excited. He's so excited to be grappled onto this bird. Oh, that's some evocative art. I love that. I love that. You're getting a whole image here. I opens my mouth to catches the bugs. Oh man, he's getting a little snack too. And he tags along. Neat little card. Certainly better than like just like a vanilla 2/1, right? You don't need very many flyers to be like even a little bit excited about this because you're probably gonna want to play a 2-drop in your deck anyway. Joblin Ringleader, 4 mana for a 2/2 haste. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all goblin cards revealed this way. Your hand the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Yeah, so Goblins has already put up a few 5/0s in Modern without Ringleader, just with people testing out Goblin Matron, because that one was in Modern Horizons. And Ringleader should help out a lot. It's not gonna help you in your unfair matchups, but Goblins never really did well in unfair matchups anyway. Like you're always just like a slower deck. like however explosive you are, your combo opponent's going to be more explosive. So the way the Goblins handles that is they play like, they devote most of their sideboard to beating unfair decks, and then they try and play like enough disruption and random utility creatures for different situations while they're applying pressure. And then cards like Goblin Matron and Goblin Ringleader give you a whole lot of card advantage to grind through the Jund and blue-white control and all those decks. Anyway, this card's sweet. I'm glad it's in Modern, and who knows, maybe it'll even do something in Standard. Goblin Smuggler, 2 in a red, 2/2 haste. Tap another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. I am but a humble traveler. I have no taste for sneakery nor thiefiness. Oh, good. I'm glad Goblin gets another honest, law-abiding citizen added to the ranks here. So 3 mana for a 2/2 haster is like an okay rate for limited. It's like it's not amazing, right? But if you're curving 2-drop into 3-drop and your opponent hasn't played a 2-drop yet, now they're like taking 4 damage or whatever, and then you have a removal spell for their first blocker and you get in for 4 again, and all of a sudden they start to look kind of dead. So I like the little bit of evasion that's tacked on there, even if it's not giving itself evasion. The fact that it can get in some damage, and then when it can no longer get in for damage because your opponent like has a 3/3 or something, or a 2/3, then it can still get in damage. It's nice. Help another creature do it. Infuriate, 1 red. Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. What? Brute, what is it? Brute strength, brute force, brute something. It's brute force. Yeah, brute force. Brute force too strong. Gotta be nerfed. Yeah, brute force was the time spiral giant growth. It was like color shifted into red. And I guess we don't get that card, which infuriates me. All right, Keldon Raider. Keldon Raider is solid filler. The fact that you can just like once you hit 4 mana in your aggro red deck, you're probably at the top of your curve. So being able to just discard either a pump spell that doesn't do anything, or discard like a weaker creature because now you're at 4 mana, or an extra land, right? Very likely that you have an extra land kicking around that you would love to cycle into another card. Means Keldon Raider is great. Lavakin Brawler, 4 mana for a 2/4. When it attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each elemental you control. The elemental synergies, love it. She swings with the ease of flowing lava and hits with the force of a meteor. Neat. Neato. Leyline of Combustion, 2 red, enchantment, leyline text. Whenever you and or at least one permanent you control comes the target of a spell or ability the opponent controls, it deals 2 damage to that player. I don't know. I don't know. So your opponent has to be targeting your things. Is this sweet against Jund in Modern? Out of burn? To like Canned Inquisition you or like kill your creatures without taking 2? Like you play like you go turn 1 or turn 0, like play your Leyline of Combustion. And you play an Eidolon and they have to like bolt your Eidolon. Now they're taking 4 damage bolting your Eidolon. Yeah, it's probably not worth. Nobody's playing Jund. Great. That wasn't the question. That's not a useful thought experiment. That deck is currently out of favor. Leyline of Sanctity is just better. Out of burn? Out of burn? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Out of an aggro deck with a lot of reach? No. If you're going turn 1 Goblin Guide, this card is way better than Leyline of Sanctity. It only needs to trigger like twice to be worth it. And if it ever triggers a 3rd time, it's just like game. Might be worth testing. Yeah, it might be. There's certainly matchups where your opponent like needs to target multiple of your things. Like they don't have a choice. They have to, or they will lose the game. Can't target you with Alter. Yeah, it's like just Alter. They don't want to target you with Alter though. They want to mill themselves with altar, and like they don't have to target you. They don't have to mill you. They can just like pass with 40 power in play. And you're like, all right, your turn, idiot. You're not winning that game. Is it real good against Grape Shot? It is real good against Grape Shot. That's more of like a game 1 thing though, because game 2 they can just make a bunch of empty tokens and not care. Or play Aria of Flame or something. I don't know. Maniacal Rage, 1 in a red, enchant creature, gets +2/+2 and can't block. I like having this card around. There's like 1 drop, turn 2, build your own Wild Nicottle, serve in, put it on a flyer, just go to town. It's a real nice way to cheese people out in limited, which I enjoy. Not a very high pick, obviously, but sweet to have. How many would I play to get in the opening? Are you talking about Leyline of Combustion? I don't know. I don't know. Not impossible to cast it either, if your opponent's like pathing you. Not impossible to get up to 4 mana. If my experience playing Burn in Modern is par for the course, I'll pretty much always have 6 mana on time, so Leyline of Combustion is pretty damn castable. I might as well play fucking Karns, my fucking like 7 mana Karn. I might as well throw that into my Burn decks in Modern with the way I hit my land drops. Alright, Marauding Raptor. 1 in a red. Creature dinosaur. Creature spells you cast 1 less to cast. Already sweet. 2/3 body. Super sweet. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to it. Less sweet. If a dinosaur is dealt damage this way, Marauding Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So the cool thing about this is how it curves into the 2 green 4/5, that whenever it's dealt damage, you get to draw a card. So you just go turn 2 Marauding Raptor, turn 3 that fucking card. And now you're like drawing a card and attacking for 4 on 3. That's awesome. And you have a 4/5 down. And both of these creatures' stats line up pretty well against aggro. Out of the entire set, do I have a favorite card so far? We haven't hit my favorite card yet. I'll tell you that. Of the cards that we've gone over, my favorite was Leyline of the Void, because I got to spoil that, and that was, I don't know, that was really sweet for me. I've spoiled other cards before, but that one's pretty real. And it was like an eternal staple. Like I didn't get to spoil anything for Modern Horizons. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. There's like a whole shit pile of people that they're giving spoilers to, right? And they're giving spoilers to so many people and all these people that need exposure and stuff. But I also like stream more Modern than most people. Do a lot of Modern content, I think. I don't know. I'm obviously biased, you know. I don't have the best valuation, so it was really sweet to be given a card that not only is like a big deal to everybody that plays like Modern and Legacy, but something that was like specifically sweet in that format. Some recognition, not being forgotten. The best Caleb you know? Yeah. One of them. One of the best Calebs you know. You wonder how Arena handles Marauding Raptor into Polyraptor? The game will draw. The game will draw after like 10 minutes if you get into an infinite loop. And then you'll, if you're playing a best of 3, you'll just keep on playing the match. How does that work in paper? You'll tell a judge, and the judge will tell you it's drawn. That's the same thing. It won't take 10 minutes. Mask of Immolation, 1 in a red, artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token, then attach Mask to it. Equipped creature has sacrificed this creature, deals 1 damage to any target. Equip 2. Oh man. We get better Mortar Pod? This is my first time seeing this card. This is just better Mortar Pod, right? Because Mortar, I mean, it has a red in the casting cost, so it's not going to be played in every goddamn deck. Like, you could put Mortar Pod into like any every deck. A bunch of white decks and stuff. Mortar Pod costs 1 to equip? No, it didn't. It costs 2. It doesn't give +0/+1. Yeah, I guess that came up sometimes. But the fact that the base creature that it enters the play with is a 1/1 instead of an 0/1 certainly matters. Nice. Yeah, so in limited, this card is even better than the +1/+1 we looked at earlier. Even though that card's pretty great. Just the fact that you can ping off evasive creatures if you need to, or convert your board presence into reach at the end of the game. Well, you have 5 creatures, you can deal 5 damage. Not too shabby. I'd probably pick this card relatively highly. Like 2nd or 3rd pick, maybe. Busted with Death Touch. That's true. And there's a Death Touch enabler in the format. The common 1 in a black that cycles. It's also a sacrifice outlet with this one, Active Treason. So you steal their creature and pay 2 more mana to equip it, sack it. Pretty sweet. And then self-contained within red too. Usually you have to like play red-black to do steal your thing, sack it combos. Sometimes you can get away with it in mono red if you have Fling. Mask lets you do it. Kind of nice. Yeah, I could see first picking this in a weaker pack. And I could see taking it over like semi-reasonable cards, depending on your deck. Like, I think I would take it over Chandra's Outrage, but I'm not 100 on that. Certainly the first one. It gets worse the more that you have, right? The more Mask of Immolations you have, the worse it gets. But the first one's really high value, I think. Yeah, probably better than most commons, for sure. All right, Pack Mastiff, 1 in a red, 2/2. Each creature you control named Pack Mastiff gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Oh, good. This is just like mono hound deck. There's Dragon here, 5 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, get 2 treasure tokens. Well, that's fun. That's fun. It's got flying too. Not the worst. Dragons are treasure, you know. Dragon's treasure go well together. I like it. There's a little bit of flavor there. Probably picking that one like 3rd or 4th. Reckless Airstrike, red. Choose 1. Deals 3 damage to a creature with flying. That's a lot of creatures in this format. Or destroy an artifact. Okay. I think you could almost main deck this card. There's so much flying matters here. Reduced Ashes, 5 mana, deals 5 damage to a creature. If it would die this turn, exile it instead. Oh, I've actually, okay. So I've already done this once. But I'm gonna ask you to humor me again. Because I actually have an artist proof of this specific card. I actually broke up a triptych to get this proof, and I felt really bad doing it. A triptych is an art piece that is like 3 pieces in a row that combine to make something that's larger than the sum of their parts. So in this case, it was 3 different studies that were the main art. I'll go big real quick. Oh man, I love being able to indulge myself and show off my artist proofs here. That's sweet. Having your own stream is a good time. Yeah, so here's to Ashes, the card that we're looking over right now. And then the back, there's a little bit of glare. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a decent amount of detail there. A decent amount of detail. Very sweet little skeleton. Anyway. Not my favorite artist proof by that artist, but I thought the skeleton was sweet. I think the best artist proofs when they do a sketch that's like referencing the main art, they'll do like a little tweak on it. They'll do like a shift in perspective. Whereas this one was like pretty on the nose, pretty straightforward, which is why it's not my favorite by the person. But it's still sweet. What's my coolest proof? I can show you my favorite one. So this is on the back of one Duretti Scrap Savant. And then the picture that I requested was Duretti eating a nice bowl of mom's spaghetti. Oh, yeah, delightful. Anyway, I think that one turned out super well. I could spend all day like going through my artist proofs, though. I should probably get back to the old set review. Repeated reverberation. 2 red instant. When you next cast an instant spell, choose a sorcery spell or activate a loyalty ability this turn. Copy that spell or ability twice. You may choose new targets. So I guess what you're mostly supposed to be doing with this is like casting it and then copying a planeswalker ability. Because otherwise it seems real clunky. I guess it's copying it twice, right? So usually Fork only copies a spell once. And this gets 2 copies. Yeah, it seems real clunky. Like, not constructed playable. Like, not worth thinking about for constructed. 4 mana is so much mana. I don't know. Maybe the mono-red Storm deck in Legacy. That deck can play some wonky bullshit. 3 Teferi Tux. Oh, so you play Teferi on turn 3, uptick it, and then next turn you cast this, and you downtick and just like bounce their whole board and draw 3 cards. 2 forks, just like how you eat your pizza. Amazing. Amazing. You can't cast it on their end of turn and then untap and play a spell, because it says this turn. It's not like an until end of turn thing. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Sin Shadow, thanks for the sub. Can you copy a Suspended Ancestral? You could. You could do that. Three Goblin Grenades? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, this is sweet. Look at how dynamic this art is. I haven't even read the card yet, but I already like it. These human soldiers are not having a good time. Oh, and you get to see, like, the fucking Selesnya tree. It's hanging out on his shoulder. Ripscale Predator, 4 red. Menace, 6/5. Dinosaurs rarely understand the idea of boundaries between the wild and the urban landscape. It was in Gatecrash. This card? Did it have the same art? I didn't recognize it, but you're probably right. You think it's dabbing? Probably is. Scampering Scorcher, 3 and a red, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. Elementals you control gain haste until end of turn. Some more elemental synergies. Pairs well with the uncommon Chandra, right? Because the 4 mana Chandra can give all of your elementals +1/+0, or +2/+0 till end of turn. So if you get 3 with haste, then you're attacking for 9. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby. They're both uncommon, so it's not crazy for that to happen in limited. Scorch Spitter, 1 red, 1/1. Whenever it attacks, deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. Little elemental lizard here. Nice little 1-drop if you're curving out, if you're being super aggro. If you're not being super aggro, though, this card doesn't belong in your deck. Don't play 1 mana 1/1s unless you have a really good fucking reason. These cards get way overplayed. But if you're very aggressive, if you're like very, very aggressive, you can get away with it. These absolutely need to curve out. Am I going to play after the review? We'll see where we end up. We'll see where we end up. No promises either way. I'll try and get some matches in, though. I have Moto loaded up. Let's say shock. Deals 2 damage to any target. Good one to have around. Good one to have in standard. And in limited, Tectonic Rift, 3 in a red. Destroy a land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. I like that card. A little bit of, I mean, a lot of times you would play creatures without flying can't block this turn anyway as like a one of in your aggro decks. So like adding destroy a land onto it. Why not? Why the fuck not? Thunderkin Awakener, 1 in a red, 1/2 haste. Hey Dave the piano guy, thanks for the resub, thanks for 11 months there. Anyway, 2 mana, 1/2 haste. Whenever it attacks, choose target elemental card in your graveyard with toughness less than Thunderkin Awakener's toughness. Turn that card to the battlefield tapped and attacking, sack it at the beginning of the next end step. So in this limited format, there's a few different ways of pumping toughness at common.
Shit, what up?
And just at the base, like 1/2, we see there's a few random elementals with like 1 toughness that it could get back for value. Maybe not the worst thing ever. Something that interests me as someone that that has played a decent amount of shamans in Modern is that Rage Forger grows it. So if you play Thunderkin Awakener and then get a Rage Forger trigger, all of a sudden Thunderkin Awakener's toughness will be large enough to get back like a Judith from your graveyard. Or another Rage Forger, right? It'll be able to get back anything in the Shaman deck if you put a 1/1 counter on it. And there's some X1s in that deck that it can rebuy as well, and it has haste, so not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. That deck's also playing Collected Company, so if you go Collected Company, having a haste creature to hit, like say you hit Rage Forger and Thunderkin Awakener off of that, then it'll be in play. Oh, that's right, it only rebuys elementals, it doesn't rebuy shamans. Okay, fair point. Well, there's not nearly as many elementals in the shaman deck, but there's probably enough. There's probably enough to be worth playing this card. Because you have the 1 mana 1/1 that tutors for Rage Forger, and then you have Rage Forger itself that's certainly worth rebuying. And then you have the Thunderkins that they can also rebuy themselves. So yeah, thanks for correcting me there. You want to do it with Skelemental? I guess. So yeah, you're probably not playing 4 of this, but a couple doesn't seem bad. A couple doesn't seem terrible. If there is an elemental a deck in Standard, it's probably going to be playing this card. And if there is an elemental deck in Modern, it's probably going to play this card. Uncaged Fury, 3 mana, +1/+1 and double strike until end of turn. I'm pretty sure I've played this card in Standard before. It is a beating. It is a beating and a half. A lot of times you think you're safe, and then your opponent gives something +1/+1 and double strike, and you're not close to safe at all anymore. Not a super important pickup. It is a pump spell, right? Pump spells always give you the opportunity to get blown out if your opponent has like an unsummon for your creature or something. But it is powerful. It is powerful. Unchained Berserker, 1 in a red, 1/1 pro white. Has +2/+0 as long as it's attacking. Interesting. Yeah, as a sideboard card. So the 2 mana 3/1 that can't be blocked by blue creatures has certainly seen play in standard sideboards of mono red when mono blue was a tier 1 deck. And I'm trying to think if this card would see play in mono red to board in against mono white. Like the pro white means that it's unblockable against mono white, which certainly matters, and then it blocks the turn that it comes down. Doesn't seem terrible if you're facing mono white often enough. And then it also has protection from white removal spells, like Teferi can't bounce it. And I don't know how much that matters, though. I don't know how much that matters. Because a lot of like Esper's removal right now is black-based, as opposed to white. I guess, oh yeah, if you're playing against hero, the tokens can't block it too. It's kind of relevant. You like it in Feather? Interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see how much play it gets. I wouldn't be surprised if it saw like a reasonable amount of play, and I would also not be surprised if it saw like not much, right? Very meta dependent. Certainly seems better than like the black one that has pro green though, or the blue one that's just a 1/1 flyer. Archide Troll, green for a 2/2. Oh right, I was gonna take a. I've been taking breaks. Well, we're pretty far along, right? White, blue, black, red, and then this is green. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do green when I come back. I'm gonna go stretch my legs, go refill my water again. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do green, and then after that, it'll be just lands in multicolor, and then we'll be done with the set review. Not too shabby. We're making pretty good time. Better time than I did on Modern Masters, anyway.